I'm Bob Cobb from the Bassmasters, and this is LD and the MC.
So, why are we doing this today?
Special news, special breaking news. Duncan, I know I normally only see you once a week, but when we have breaking news like this, I mean, we got to get together and we got to talk about this.
Okay.
This is the most talked about thing. Everybody's been asking what is happening with the Bassmaster Classic, and I'm happy to announce that we finally have a direction on the Bassmaster Classic. And I hate to announce, especially the timing, with everything going on. I mean, everybody needs a lift up right now, but this is a lift up.
Okay.
They have decided to move the Classic. It's officially being moved. But when I say that it's a lift up, what I mean is I think this decision was made to give the Classic a chance. You know what I mean? To let the Classic be as close to what it is and what we all love. That's what made us fall in love.
And want it to be, right? And we want it to be. We need it to be at this point.
So what they've decided to do is they're basically switching dates. We had an event scheduled, stop number 7 in Florence, Alabama, was originally supposed to be June 10th to 13th. That is now the week of the Bassmaster Classic, and vice versa. The Pickwick event is now moved to the week that the Classic was originally scheduled for, which of course was March 18th to 21st. So the official breaking news is the Bassmaster Classic is moving. It's going to be a summertime classic for all those people who want that summertime classic. We're going to have a summer classic the week of June 10th to 13th. Before we get into, I want your opinion on the fishing, but just to be clear, I mean, number one, Bass is really lucky to have Fort Worth as a partner in this thing, because no matter where they wanted to put this, they've been supportive. I mean, this decision was made because of the event that the Classic is. I mean, if this was just a regional event that we're holding in Fort Worth, there's events happening in Fort Worth right now. But there's so many people traveling from so many places within the United States and so many places throughout the world that I think Bass just really wanted to give this an opportunity to be the Classic that we all know and love and have fallen in love with. So I mean, agree, disagree with the decision. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's the decision that so many businesses and so many sports are being forced to make. But we're going to have a June Bassmaster Classic and a March Pickwick event, which is drastically going to affect both events.
Yes, it is.
Luke Duncan, tell me what your thoughts are.
Well, first I want to say I think this is the right move by Bass. As much as we talk on LD and the MC about all the craziness going on in the countries that we both live in with shutdowns and not shutdowns and what have you, I think this is the right move, because myself, I can't see in 2 months us having a normal Bassmaster Classic that we all know and love. And I understand the world is not normal now, but I think this is the right move that gets us, like you said, closer to having a Classic like we normally do. I think for me personally, as a fan, I was fortunate enough to go to those summertime classics as on family vacation a few times, and they were awesome. They were always very cool, and they had this really, and the Classic always has this kind of festive, environment, but it was really cool. And I feel like there were a lot more kids there when I was younger because it was in the summer. I mean, it's very hard in March, you're in the middle of school, February, March. So I think we'll see more families at this, especially because everybody's been cooped up. And I think by June, it will be a very positive event. On the fishing side of it, June in Texas, they're still going to catch them. Maybe it's not going to be as good weight-wise throughout the field as we would have seen in March, because everybody knows summertime events are tough, a little tougher, and it's Fort Worth in June, so it's going to be hot. But I think it's still going to be a killer event, and I'm for that. Now, the Pickwick deal, and this is just like because I live on Pickwick and love Pickwick and grew up, like that's the Elite Series I want to see. Because yes, and I say this, and I mean no offense to anybody that schedules any event. I get, and MPFL's going to Pickwick in July as well. I hate summertime TVA tournaments because I hate them locally anymore. I hate them nationally, just from a standpoint of it's the same thing most of the time. You know, guys are so good with their electronics. The electronics are so good. And Pickwick fishes, to be honest, pretty small. So in that event, it's coming down to boat numbers and different things. March on Pickwick, you're going to see giant smallmouth. You're going to see giant largemouth. You're going to see so many different patterns at play and areas. All 46 miles of the lake will essentially be in play. And in June, it would have been about a 15 to 18 mile stretch of the lake that would have been in play for those guys. So now you've got truly dam to dam. That tournament is wide open. So I think for fans that, you know, because I've got buddies all over the country that say, man, I don't like TVA summertime tournaments. You kind of know the deal, you know, the techniques, whatever. This one, I'm telling you, you better watch it if they hit the weather and water conditions right, because TVA, you have a lot of fluctuating water levels, but if they hit it right, it could be a century mark event. I believe nothing but that. Like, wow, huge stringers weighed in. It could be really cool event.
But the Classic's going to suck.
No, I don't think it'll suck. And I can't speak to that lake because I don't know enough about it, right? But I think Texas has a lot of giants, obviously. And the guy that finds the right summertime haunt in that tournament, a lot of standing team. There's a lot of cool things at play in that lake from what I understand, but they'll smash them. I mean, they always do. I think June is certainly better than July or like the August classics of old or Forest Wood Cups. You know, those are really tough times of the year. So I think June, you know, that's kind of, I would say not really late post spawn, right? Like you'll still have some fish probably, you know, that are just wrapping up their deal. So it'll be good, man. I just don't think you will see 40 dudes smashing on them like you would in March, I guess is what I mean by that. There will be some separation like you tend to see in summertime tournaments. You've got 5 dudes that really figure out some areas and then everybody else just kind of does their thing. That's my take.
Well, it's going to be very interesting. I don't think they really had a choice, to be honest. I mean, you for everybody involved, for the eventual winner, for the industry, for everybody, you want to give the Bassmaster Classic the best opportunity at being the Bassmaster Classic.
Absolutely.
And that's why this decision's been made. And really, it's not a shocker. I mean, you look at events all across the country, all around the world, things are being moved. Even the CDC guidelines. I mean, everything was taken into account here. The CDC guidelines are telling sports that, you know, that June timeframe, we should be good to go. So let's hope we're good to go. Let's hope, as I said at the beginning, you know, timing wise, I hate to announce it because I feel like the start of this year, we all need a big lift up. But the big lift up from this is, although it's being moved, the positive is hopefully, you know, this time next year, we're looking back at a regular Bassmaster Classic and not a limited crowd, not a asterisk classic, so to speak.
Yes.
You want to give that winner that full experience and all of us that full experience. So Classic, once again, the official announcement, Classic is being moved to the June 10th to 13th date, which was originally stop number 7 of the Bassmaster Elite Series, and it will be on June 10th to 13th. And we will move the Pickwick event, which was originally those dates, to March 18th to 21st, the original dates of the Classic. So the dates remain the same. The events just change. And that is your breaking news. We'll talk about more of this crap next Wednesday, next hump day on LD and the MC.
And we appreciate you listening.
Was the most awkward ending. We're not good at these breaking news things. We got to get better.
I hope nobody ever calls us needing you to do a breaking news thing again.